Now, in good news here, I want to leave off with something in terms of entertainment. We have Chris Pratt and Indiana Jones, folks. I'm a big Indiana Jones fan. I love even adventure books, treasure hunting shows. And this is something I've been wanting to see for a while, is Chris Pratt donning the hat, being Indiana himself, maybe Indiana's son, maybe not. We'll find out. But if you want to see what Chris Pratt would look like wearing the hat, let's roll the clip.
Big problem.
No! No more parachute!
Shorty! Get our stuff!
Back. Tickets, please.
Fast.
Kalima protects us. We are her children. We pledge our devotion to her.
Never to give orders.
Oh, shit. Molaram, prepare to meet Kali in hell. Oh!
I mean, folks, does he not look like Indiana Jones? Does he not look like he can carry that role? He has the manliness. He has just the look itself. He has the comedic timing. He has the full package to carry the helm there for that franchise. Fans have been speculating that Chris Pratt could step in as Indiana Jones in the newest iteration, but the 43-year-old star just laid those rumors to rest for good. The Jurassic World star addressed the idea while appearing on an episode of the Happy, Sad, Confused podcast, according to Variety. Quote, I don't even know who Steven Spielberg is. Who? Steven who? So obviously he was joking about the franchise. Quote, no, aren't they doing Indiana Jones with Harrison Ford? All I know is I once saw a quote from Harrison Ford, and I don't even know if it was really him, but it was enough to scare me. And that was like, when I die, Indiana Jones dies. And I'm like, I'm not going to be haunted by his ghost of Harrison Ford one day when he dies if I play it, the actor continued. Apparently, the quote is real and comes from a 2019 interview Ford did with Today. Quote, don't get it. I'm Indiana Jones. When I'm gone, he's gone. It's easy, the 80-year-old actor star explained. Now, there are things coming out in terms of Chris Pratt still potentially being it, and that's what I'm holding on to. I think it would be a massive miss for Disney and the franchise not to put Chris Pratt into this role. He's one of the few handful of actors, and I would maybe say there's maybe 2 or 3 actors that could take this role and actually continue this franchise in the way it needs to be continued. And for Harrison Ford to be like, well, this character dies with me, I don't understand why it needs to die with you. This could be very much like a James Bond type thing where somebody can always continue to take the helm of this franchise. There's a lot of stories still to be told here. I'm fully aware they messed up on Indiana Jones 4. Praying to God they don't mess up Indiana Jones 5. Furthermore, the publication noted that Ford is planning to reprise the iconic role of Indiana Jones for the 5th time. They've already done filming this whole thing, so he is going to reprise it. This newest franchise installment is scheduled to be released in June 2023. They've had to push this back numerous amount of times, so now we got to wait a freaking whole nother year for this thing to come out. But this is up there with me as far as like Star Wars was. This is how excited I am for this film. Co-star Antonio Banderas described what it was like joining the cast of the 5th Indiana Jones film. He said, so unbelievable. He said, encountering Ford on set per USA Today. The first day I arrived, I was in makeup. I was in the makeup trailer. And I turned around and there was in his full Indiana Jones costume with the hat and the whip. Phoebe Waller-Bridge was there with him too. and it was cool. He continued. Banderas got nostalgic, saying, I still remember the first time I saw Indiana Jones in theater and the crowd was crazy about it. I thought, this is like going back to the adventure movies in a completely different way. What I can tell you about my character is he's not a bad guy. He's a friend of Indiana. He's not the biggest character in the movie, but I don't care. I just like to be a part of that. The first Indiana Jones movie, Raiders of the Lost Ark, was released in freaking 1981. Okay. Then you got the other ones that debuted in 1984, 1989, and 2008. And Disney owns the intellectual property rights since acquiring Lucasfilm in 2012, which brings me to a point here. If you're going to spend all that money to acquire Lucasfilm, and Indiana Jones being one of those franchises, obviously Star Wars, and we know what they did with Star Wars. They're running that whole franchise into the ground. But this is an important franchise to move forward that can make Disney a lot of money. There is a market for this. Look at what they did with National Treasure. National Treasure made them a lot of money, and I believe they're even releasing another National Treasure on Disney Plus. But people want to see Indiana Jones. They want to see good stuff. They don't want to see freaking alien spacecraft coming out of the ground, okay? Everybody's like, what the hell moment. That moment was so much similar to The Mummy when The Rock came out as a scorpion and he was half human and half scorpion, and everybody's like, what the hell is this? The CGI sucks. And the CGI wasn't even that great in Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. But again, somebody needs to take over the helm. Harrison Ford is not going to be able to do a sixth film. He can maybe reprise a role as Indiana Jones, but acting more like Sean Connery's type of role when Sean Connery was still around, I think in 84 and 89. But somebody needs to take over, and I still think it's going to be Chris Pratt. I think there's going to be a thing at the end where somebody's going to take the helm. It's not going to be Shia LaBeouf. Shia LaBeouf isn't wanted by Disney the way Shia LaBeouf's been acting, and I was a huge fan of Shia LaBeouf. I moved on. I got another bromance. His name's Chris Pratt, and he needs to be Indiana Jones. He has the look. He has the charisma. He has everything it needs to take. So let's keep our fingers crossed for this. In 2023, I'm hoping some rumors come out that this is the man, this is the guy that they're going to shoot for the next Indiana Jones. As always, folks, thank you so much for joining me here at the Bald Brad Show. I love your support and kindness. You are, again, true American patriots. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Leave me a nice comment down below on everything you think about what we went over. And I'll see you tomorrow here on the Bald Brad Show. I hope you enjoyed that clip from the Bald Brad Show. If you did, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on all our future content.